at the insistence of quite a few people, we're going to change it up a little bit. This is Cup of Stoffy. Welcome to Cup of Stoffy. As always, I'm Stoffy. Let's get into this because there's a lot going on in the VHL this week. So the first thing I want to do is what we always do, which is go over some of the games. Now, instead of going over only Davos games, because honestly, they're driving me to drink, we're going to go over all the games that have happened within the last couple of days. So we're going to go through, I believe, games 180 through 187. Okay. Let's go ahead and see what we can find out. Let me go ahead and just share my screen real quick. I'm going to turn that off and turn this on. And the first game we're going to talk about is the Quebec City Mute versus the Toronto Legion. So, first and foremost, what we see is we see a total score of 2 for Toronto and 1 for Quebec City. Now, as we can see in the first, second, and third periods, Quebec is blowing Toronto out of the water as far as shots on goal. Now, in overtime 1, it was evenly matched. They actually it took all the way to shootout for them to actually get anything moving. But even so, Quebec beat Toronto in shots, 21-32. Now, so as we're going through it, we have 3 stars of the game. We have Noah Stopko, which really shouldn't be any type of surprise. He's a wonderful goalie. We have Tristan Isolde and Arroyo from Toronto as well. Now, in period 1, there weren't any goals, but there were penalties. We have Bo Luth with a tripping minor at 157, Adam Warlock with a holding penalty at 6:13, and Boner with a roughing minor at 19:29. All right. What kind of game would it be if there weren't penalties right out of the gate? You know what I mean? In period 2, the Toronto Legion gets on the board with Arroyo with his 40th goal of the season, and Sebastian Ironside gets his 54th assist. Now, not to be outdone in that, there's an interference minor from Marvin Harding at 16:19. Now, not to be outdone, the period ends. Next period, Quebec gets on the board with Colton Rain with his 4th of the year, Casey Jones' 23rd assist, Bo Luth 28th assist on a power play. But, just like in any game, we have our share of penalties. Sebastian Ironside from Toronto has a hooking minor at 4:38. Vernon Dragomir has a roughing penalty for Quebec at 4:38. Boner comes back for hooking minors and at 6:48, and Vernon Dragomir, not to be outdone by anybody, decides he wants to get another penalty for holding at 11:42. So, we're now tied up 1-1. So, we go into overtime. And in overtime 1, there is not a goal and there are no penalties. So, basically, they just had a skating party out there on the ice. Now, of course, this brings us into our favorite part of the game, which is shootouts. So Quebec City goes first, and Jorgen Weaz makes a shot that's stopped by Noah Stopko. Toronto sends in Sebastian Ironside to get stopped by Tristan Isolde. Quebec sends in Pat Svoboda, who's actually now on a different team, which we'll get into later. Stopped by North Stopco. Toronto sends in Ayora Arroyo, and he gets a goal. Then Quebec City sends in Bo Luth, and he misses the net completely. No penalties, though. So, with that, because of that one shot from Ayora Arroyo, Tristan Isolt from Quebec suffers his fourth overtime loss, and North Stopco increases his record to 20-11-6. Now, on to our next game. All right, so our next game is the Helsinki Titans and the New York Americans. Let's see how old Pepper did this week. All right, so as you can see, New York wins with a score of 4-3 over the Helsinki Titans. Helsinki held them to 3 more shots on goal than the Americans, but in the first period, you can see New York wasn't letting up on them at all. In the third period, Helsinki turned it around and just let them have it. Our 3 stars of the game are Rotrion King of New York, Kronos Bailey of Helsinki, and Ryan Sullivan Jr. of New York. In the first period, we have Ryan Zabby with his 14th goal. We got Rotrion with his 20th assist, and Sean Shanigan, with his 23rd assist. The New York Americans also score another, not to be outdone, because who wants an assist, really? So, Rotrion King scores his 23rd goal of the season, and Sean y'all got to get different names. On a power play, gets his 24th assist. Now, not to be outdone by either of them, Kronos Bailey decided to rocket one into the net, giving him his 11th goal of the season. Jesse Wilson gets his 18th assist of the year, and Vesto Sulfur gets his 23rd assist of the year at 18:04 on a power play. Now, what kind of game would it be if there was not penalties? Jesse Wilson had a holding penalty at 14:52. Ryan Zabby has a hooking minor at 17:02. Now, let's see here. Period 2, Helsinki decided to step it up. Keaton Louth has his 23rd goal of the year. Good job. Kronos Bailey had his 15th assist, and Matt Johnson had his 31st assist on a shorthanded goal at 2:49. Helsinki, not to be outdone again, has Sidney Crosby with his 4th goal of the season. Where you been, Sidney? Lord, I haven't seen any of you. Jesse Wilson had his 19th assist. Constantine Mulligan actually does something and puts up his 10th assist of the year at 17:56. But Paulo Nano of Helsinki has a high sticking minor at 2 minutes. Jesse Wilson of Helsinki has a tripping minor at 3:19. Kronos Bailey has a roughing minor at 11:25, and New York American D3 decides that he wants to get into the mix too, and has a tripping minor at 15:31. Now, in period 3, we got the New York Americans not to be outdone by their counterparts in Helsinki. We have Joseph McWolf as his 11th on the year. Dan Walensky with his 17th assist, and Joel Yelanin with his 24th assist of the year at 26 seconds into the period. The New York Americans have Ryan Sullivan Jr. come out and score his 3rd goal of the year. Joseph McWolf gets his 40th assist. Joel Yelanin gets his 25th on a power play. But, of course, we can't just go through a period of hockey without getting a penalty or two. Joe McWolf gets a hooking minor at 4:18. Keaton Louth has one for holding at 17:48. This being said, Ishman Kingfisher of New York Americans gets a win for a 14-7-3 win, or 3 record with a 900 save average. And Alexander Pepper topped 23 of 27 with an 852 with a record of 27-15-4. Golly, you move that forward to the beginning and put 27 as my losses and the overtime losses at 15, you have a more accurate description of my own record. So, on to the next game. Now, let's see. Now we have the Riga Rain versus the Calgary Wranglers. I like the Calgary Wranglers and the Riga Rain. I like both of them, actually. Riga just destroyed them in shot today, brothers and sisters. It has just been a wow. All right. So, Riga wins 4-1 on there. And there's a reason they're at the top of the league right now. I'm not even sure if they're top of the league. Kind of want to see that real quick. Let me just see what the standings are. All right. So, Riga is 34-10. They're basically the Tampa Bay Lightning. Let's see. Seattle is 34-12. Toronto is 28-12. Helsinki is 27-16. Quebec City is 24-19. New York is 17-26. Calgary is 15-25, and no, I don't give a shit. Okay, back to the game. All right, so our 3 stars of the game are Padraig Cast of Riga, Ryu Crimson of Riga, and Sean Glade of Riga. Jeez Louise. All right, onward we go. So in period 1, Ryu Crimson gets his 20th of the season. Sean Glade gets his 26th assist, and Dylan Wynn gets his 19th assist at 14:33 into the period. Not to be outdone, though, Carvon Mulkey, oh man, I haven't seen him in a while, gets his 10th goal of the season. Lando Baxter gets his 26th assist, and Oleksiy Revchenko gets his 21st assist at 18:09 on power play. For penalties, golly, Volodymyr Zajakowski gets a holding minor at 11:41, and Joseph Basilino gets one for boarding at 16:43 for Riga. Now, not to be outdone by anybody, old Padraig Cast comes flying down the ice over the line and shoots 2 in with Ryan Kostelic at his back for his 36th and 37th assist and Padraig's 29th and 30th goal. Joseph Basilino also gets an assist, and Edward Pre-Incarnacion gets his 34th assist as well on the power play. Not to be outdone by old Padraig, Joseph Basilino decides to stop getting assists and start scoring, and he gets his 9th on the year. Edward Pre-Incarnacion gets his 35th assist, and left winger gets his 17th on the power play. But, as always, there are penalties. Caden Saint of Calgary gets a high sticking at 48. Johannes Wilhelmsen gets a hooking minor at 105. Caden Saint gets a holding minor at 522. Waldemir Zajakowski gets a tripping minor for Calgary at 906. In period 3, everybody just decided to skate around the ice and get penalties. Now, Caden Saint gets a penalty for interference at 3:27. Joseph Basilino gets one for hooking at 6:29. And Jasper Canmore decided to come off the bench and gets an elbowing minor. He elbowed somebody in the face at 6:29. Brickwall gets her loss. She goes to 11-19-5, and Callis Crickers, who I don't really understand. He is just doing so well. 31-10-3. Onward to the next game. Ooh, I got something in my inbox. Hang on just a second. What do I get? Oh, Peace replied to a status update. That's wonderful. I'm glad that he's active. I don't give a shit. All right. Let's see here. Game 183. Davos versus Seattle. Oh boy. Okay. So. Wow. Alrighty. So, as you can see, Seattle decided to shoot on us about 30 more times to our 25. We lost 5-2. Matt Thompson gets a star. Jake Davis gets a star. He's not even on that team anymore. Robert Malenko gets a star. I don't give a crap. Let's see. Seattle Bears. The Charm gets his 23rd of the year. Maxim Cook gets his 38th assist at 541. Jose Gonzalez decided to go ahead and get a score for us, and he goes to his 11th on the year. Jacob Smith gets his 20th assist, and Phil Bennington gets his 9th on the power play. Not to be outdone, Jake Davis comes back with Robert Malenko to get Robert's 62nd assist on the year, and Jake Davis's 19th goal of the season. Now, not to be outdone, Jake Davis gets a slashing minor. Mountain Thunderfist decided to come and slash him. And then Bastion Logan Max just now. Can you just not get a penalty one game, Bastion? I swear. Just one. Has a hooking minor at 12:52. Now, period 2, the Seattle Bears decided to just ball. And Maxim Cook gets his 9th on the year. Sergei Kovalev gets his 8th assist, and Jake Davis gets his 31 on the power play. The Seattle Bears, Matt Thompson gets his 39th goal of the year. David Kiaskov gets his 31st assist, with Robert Malenko getting his 63rd assist at 8:03. I'm not even gonna go ahead and just say this. Just go sit on the bench, you duster. Come on. Elias Dahlberg gets an interference, and then Bastion. All right, Bastion, come on, man. Now the Dynamo gets Paul DiMaio Jr. I have never met that man. Phil Bennington gets his 10th, and Phil DiMaio gets his 6th goal of the season at 12:09. Matt Thompson gets his 40th goal, with Vasyslav Smirnov gets his 36th assist, and Jake Davis gets his 32nd at 19:45. Penalties. Random gets a hooking penalty. Jake Davis gets a hooking minor, and Maxim Cook gets a tripping. Finn saved 55 shots for a 909. He loses with a record of 5-21-5. Roger Sterling in Seattle wins with a 29-11-1 record. I believe he's right behind Callis in that regard, but I'm not real sure. On to the next game. Let's see. Where we at? Quebec City versus the New York Americans. All right. Let's see here. All right. So, and I think this is going to be the last game that I'm going to do today, only because of the fact that I have a couple other things I want to get into. All righty. So, New York Americans, Quebec City Mute. Mute loses 4-1. Okay. That's enough of that. Now, back to what I was doing. Okay, so there's been some pretty blockbuster trades up in here recently. Let's see if we can get in here and just see. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, so going back to the 21st. So, Vernon Dragomir is going to Seattle. He now plays for the Seattle Bears. Quebec City, for that, gets Jake Davis, gets the Charm, gets a season 65 fourth round pick from Davos, and a season 66 Seattle third. All for Viren. That should be a pretty good. I believe this one will be a really good one. I think that Viren Dragomir is going to play well wherever he plays. Now, I'm probably reading these backwards, but you'll see what happens. Let me go ahead up here. So, Davos gets Pat Svoboda for a Toronto first and a Quebec third in season 65. I'm not sure. I like Pat. He's a nice guy. He's going to be a great addition to our hockey club, but I don't know him well enough yet to really make an assertion about him, and I apologize. Now, this one hurts right here. This one right here. Helsinki acquires the Charm, and Quebec gets Constantin Mulligan. So the Charm, for all of you that don't know, is the former GM of Davos. So this one kind of hurt because Tyler was a good guy to me. He's a good dude. I really like him. I wish him all the best. Now, let's go ahead and see what other folks are saying about this trade here. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Victor, I reckon it too. I'm not real sure. Victor says Quebec will start scoring and win the cup, I reckon. I don't know. I can't pretend like I know. Some of these trades are really interesting lately. I will say that one thing is, anytime there's a trade, players have to adjust to their new teams as well as they possibly can, and not just on the side of making sure that they're going to be a good fit, but getting along with their fellow teammates, making sure that they're active, etc. Going to a bad team can really kill off somebody's activity, because nobody likes to lose unless you're Stoffy and have a very lucrative talk show deal. But I didn't say that. Okay. Onward to one other thing that we're going to cover, and then I am going to close this off for the day. The World Junior Championships have started. And your boy Rhett here is playing for the United States of America, which I'm extremely, extremely honored and privileged to do. Now, that being said, let's go ahead and check out what we've got going on here. So, the very first game of the season, we have Asia versus the United States of America. Now, the score was 4-3 in shootouts. The United States of America blew up and just put so many shots on goal. The only problem with those shots on goal is none of them made it in the damn net. So, in the first period, Evgeny Komarov had a hooking penalty. Zhang Shushen had a checking minor. Bernardov had a hooking penalty, and Curtis Gary of the USA had a roughing minor. But as far as scoring, Dylan Wynn has his first of the year. Nikita Flipchev gets his first assist, and Kishan Chan, who I used to play with on the Yukon Rush, got his first assist. Now, Kyson Blake, Gritty, and Smitty Werben Jensen all go up in points on the power play. Chance Matthews and Kyson Blake partner up for Kyson's second goal on the year and Chance's first assist. And then Curtis Gary gets his first goal and Ryan Sullivan Jr. gets his first assist. In period 2, Asia decided to step it up, and Vinny Komarov gets his first, with Bald Guy getting his name is Bald Guy. Okay, all right. Bald Guy gets his first assist at 2:29. Bald Guy gets his first goal with Dylan Wynn and Victor Kozlov at 12:44 on the power play. Eric Parker decided to close his hand on the puck and try to throw it at the damn goalie at 12:28. Zhang Chutian gets an interference minor at 18:44. Then in the third period, nobody decided to score, but everybody decided to get into a little bit of a scuffle. And Vinny Komarov gets a hooking minor at 7:54. New York Americans right wing won. Wow, we got through that pretty fast, didn't we? Gets a hooking minor. Smitty Wagaman Jensen, Robin Jagerman Jensen gets goalie interference. Evgeny Golovoy from Asia gets a hooking minor at 18. Oh, hey. Sorry about that. Excuse me. It just bores the shit out of me when Asia gets scores. All right. So then we go to shootouts, and Keyshawn Chain misses the net completely. The United States of America stops has a shot that's stopped by the Helsinki goalie. The Helsinki goalie, who is literally Alexander Pepper's backup, who is not named, gets a stop. Nikita Flipashev gets a goal on me. Kyson Blake gets stopped by the Helsinki goalie. And Victor Kozlov gets a goal on me. So I go to a record of 0-0-1 with 65 minutes played and 903 save average. Son of a gun. And I don't even know who Jimmy Chang is. I don't even know who he plays for. And I don't know who the Helsinki goalie is, but there's no reason why he should be. I don't get it. I just don't. It just hurts me. I don't know. You know what I do? You know what I do when I get sad? I sing. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, going like a breeze. Country road, take me home to the place where I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country road. I'll see you next week.